Good Thursday morning, everybody. Just past 7 o'clock. Clouds moving into the mid-south, but no rainfall at this time, at least until the weekend, as what's left of a hurricane over the Gulf of Mexico moves up this direction. We'll talk about all that coming up in just a little bit. Taking a look at radar this morning, we are not seeing anything in the way of problems where it comes to anything in the way of rainfall or thunderstorms right now. What we are seeing is really pretty cool at this time. You take a look around I-40 and you can see the radar beam is actually bouncing off a level of the atmosphere and back downwards again. And what you're looking at is the radar detecting traffic moving in either direction on I-40, and also you can see a little bit of that traffic going on I-555 and a little bit of that on Highway 61 as well down into portions of northwest Mississippi. So kind of cool to be able to see that radar can be used to detect traffic at times in moving portions on the interstates. Can't really get an accurate view of it, but you do at least see a little bit more about what's going on. Back into the tropics around the Gulf of Mexico, we're seeing again the possibility of a major hurricane heading our way toward the Gulf Coast. Delta is lopsided, but it is still powerful. It lost a lot of energy moving over the Yucatan Peninsula, but as it heads northward, it's going to be gaining a little bit more energy as it goes across portions of the Gulf of Mexico. Here's the really neat thing about this. It looks like it's going to run out of energy as of, not totally, but at least it might get socked with a little bit of some less energy potential out there. The waters of the Caribbean very much on the warm side between the Yucatan Peninsula and over toward the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Jamaica, very warm. But if you take a look at the Gulf itself, it's comparatively cool. So for right now, that might sap a little bit of Delta's strength, which is good news because it'll be making its way into the next couple of days just enough energy. That M right there stands for major hurricane. It's a category 3 or above, but then it starts to lose power, possibly coming ashore as a category 2, right about where a couple of other storms, including Laura, moved on shore a few weeks ago. So it's looking to head for southwest Louisiana. It'll be a tropical storm as it passes over most of Louisiana by early Saturday. And here's where it gets interesting for us. In the mid-south, we could be looking at a tropical depression. Again, that's not a hurricane, it's not a tropical storm, it's lower than that, but it is still very active. So we may see the potential for, again, some possible windy conditions, maybe some severe weather out there as we go into the next couple of days. The computer models are in very good agreement about this, so we are seeing, again, the potential for the storm system moving its way up this direction and heading up toward the Great Lakes. So we do see, again, that potential pretty organized for now. So this is a good forecast, very cohesive. Looks like things are going to be sticking together for this storm, and again, possibly as a tropical depression. Now that means we could be looking at the potential of some severe weather and maybe some tornadoes, especially over northern Mississippi, especially northeast Mississippi. It's not much, it's a marginal threat, but it is still possible, and we may be looking for, again, the potential of maybe some isolated tornadoes. National Weather Service in Memphis keeping an eye on that on their hazardous weather outlook and showing, again, the possibility for heavy rain and gusty winds on Saturday as the remnants of that storm move up this direction, and maybe some weak tornadoes out there, especially for areas around northeast Mississippi. So from Clarksdale, Oxford, back over to Abbeville, Tupelo, Corinth, into or around the area of anything south of the Tennessee state line. I would be keeping a very close eye on this situation and be ready to move to severe weather shelter as we get into Saturday morning and into the afternoon as well. So please keep that in mind. This is still going to be a possibility for some dangerous weather in the Mid-South. Okay, 10-day forecast from the Weather Underground showing again that possibility of more rain showers taking place and maybe some thunderstorms mixed in, gusty winds at times as we go into and around the area of Friday and or Saturday morning. That's where we're going to be seeing the best possibility of the heaviest rainfall coming on through. And winds looks like they could be topping somewhere around like 30 to 40 miles per hour at times. So some pretty breezy conditions out there, and we'll be watching that carefully. Showers early on Sunday, but then leaving the area, and then next week, very nice, back into the mid to upper 70s to lower 80s. Very comfortable, very dry, plenty of sunshine out there, and not seeing anything in the way of huge amounts of humidity. So fairly comfortable, but could be some humid nights out there over the next couple of days, especially into next week as we go into the midpoint of October. So very much on the comfortable side for the Mid-South. Any questions, let me know. My email address at the top of the screen, meteorologist austenonek@gmail.com. And of course, the big three, social media at the bottom of the screen. But you can also see the rest of my social media up at the top. I'm glad to answer any questions. And of course, keeping you updated on the forecast is what we do here. So again, anything else, please keep it tuned here. And of course, to area media across the Mid-South for updates on this. Again, won't be hitting the Mid-South as a hurricane, but could be looking at the potential for some gusty winds and some heavy rainfall and maybe some severe weather. So please keep that in mind and stay safe. Don't forget, National Weather Service is still holding webinars for severe weather spotters courses called Skywarn. And if your county is listed, go to the National Weather Service website and you can get tons more information. Or again, just go to my social media sites and you'll find out a lot more there. I'm meteorologist Austen Onek. This has been Weather from Oz, which you've been watching. Thank you very much for tuning in. Stay tuned to my social media networks for much more in the way of weather, science, and all kinds of other fun. Thanks for joining me.